Hello, very long time no see. I haven't uploaded a video in freaking ages. Uh, I wanted to play some Omega because I really just wanted to try and play Genesys again. And when going to do it, I had an idea for a Regenesis and Metalmorph deck because I knew that Regenesis got pointed more. But I was like, I don't remember what stuff is pointed in Metalmorph, but I don't think it's pointed too high. And that is correct. If you we're gonna go to, I call it slop for a reason. So with Metalmorph, the only pointed cards in Metalmorph is just Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon. That's it. He's 33 points, so as long as you can fit 33 points in, you're fine. And the idea with it is none of the Metalmorph monsters have the 2500 stat line, except for Metal Flame Swordsman. Meaning you can use Metal Flame Swordsman in hand as a reveal for Genesys Archfiend to summon the Archfiend. Then you can use Metal Flame Swordsman to go for Metal Illusionist, or Zoa if you want to save your normal for an Illusionist in hand already, so that you can get Max Metalmorph. And then with Max Metalmorph, you can actually, on your opponent's turn, if you don't go for a Sage to send this, or if this gets interrupted, you can convert the Genesys Archfiend into Metal Zoa X, and that's 2 monster pops on a guy that has a little bit of protection. And during end phase, you get Genesys Archfiend back. And Incoming Machine is a searcher for the deck. It is also not a once per turn. The only once per turn on this is the effect to target a defense position guy your opponent has and make it attack. But you can search 3 cards with this if you really wanted. Unfortunately, the deck's just not as good as I was hoping. It's playing Dogmatika Fleur-de-Lis of Thunderbolt as a 25-25 because it doesn't really need the extra, and it's playing a okay package. I actually, using the Omega Discord, I found someone to play with last night, and they pointed out that Despian Luluwa-Lilith? Yeah, Despian Luluwa-Lilith has the effect to summon a light spellcaster from hand or deck who has attack equal to its own defense, and Metal Illusionist is a light spellcaster with an attack equal to its defense. So you can actually go for this to send Despian Luluwa-Lilith with a punishment, and then during end phase summon Illusionist, and then Illusionist set Max Metalmorph. Although that wouldn't really be that good, because this requires tributing a level 5 or higher dragon, which, fun fact, you can tribute Genesys Dragon for that, that's another combo. And this requires a Fiend, which would be Zoa or the Archfiend. But you could set the 1-of copy of Flame Coating Metalmorphs, because this just lets you summon the Metal Flame Swordsman anyways. Which means you then have a 25 on your board. But the deck's not that good, I'm gonna be honest. The deck I actually cared more about was this one. Just pure Dogmatika in Genesys. I've changed the list a bunch. The matches you're going to see are not using this deck list. This is a workaround brew. So the idea with this one is, it's just pure Dogmatika. I've noticed, though, it has a very big weakness for opponents who do not rely on their extra deck, and to opponents who play multiple copies of important Playmaker cards. In matches where it's like your opponent doesn't use their extra deck, then these 2 cards are dead in your hand and do nothing, essentially. And then this one does even less than she already does. And then Dogmatika Albazoa, he protects you from extra deck guys. Not anything else, though. So, sure, your cards are unaffected, but only unaffected by Fusion Synchro Xyz. So, if they got spell or trap cards or main deck monster outs, kind of SOL. I did realize, though, that Ecclesia the Dark Dragon is probably a staple you need in this. I was thinking, like, oh, what's the point of playing her the only conceivable way I could make her is like a Quem mixed with an Ecclesia or something. Or I guess now I can do Cartesia too, but usually I'm extra deck locked by the time it happens. But she doesn't need to be in there as a, oh, I synchro summon her to summon the Quem or the Cartesia to do something else. Instead, she's in here because her second effect, if this card's in your graveyard, target a level 8 fusion monster in your grave or banishment and a card on the field, shuffle both of those cards and this card into the deck. So this means every turn you can put her and then Titaniclad that you have engraved or banished, or Grand Guignol that you have engraved or banished, back into the deck. You can't do Pack Bit because it has to be a level 8 fusion. But yeah, so getting to put back Titaniclad is amazing. You can also do the Dragon that Devours the Dogma because he's 8. So that one's not a bad target to put back either. You'll notice the side deck is essentially all for dealing with backrow. This deck has literally no way to deal with backrow except for Elder Entity Entis, pretty much. And I guess technically when Pegasus Agnister or something gets destroyed. And that is a very big issue with the deck, I've noticed, is that you need non-engine to deal with backrow, and I honestly hate that. So in the side deck, I have 2 copies of Fossil Warrior Skull Knight. He's like worse Entis. He doesn't pop immediately. He only pops a monster. So you can just send him off of a Maximus that you don't need to send materials for stuff in end phase. Or you can send him off of like White Knight of Dogmatika if you don't need to have an extra pop or something. Same for this guy, but this one just targets spell traps. Another thing that really sucks, this deck loses insanely hard to macro effects. So cards like Dimensional Fissure, which for some reason the Genesys team does not think that Dimensional Fissure should be 100 points because it's free. I hope they fix that on the next point update because that's awful. That one is completely free. Macrocosmos is completely free. Like what? I don't know what Darklaw is. Oh, Darklaw's 70. So it's like, so this guy's a problem too. But why is he 70 and others aren't? And then I think there's a Ryuge. It's Typhon, that's why. I believe it's this one. Yeah, this one is like a pseudo effect, but it's only a macro for your monsters on field during your turn. So it's not too unbearable. But macro effects utterly destroy this deck. It is... it's miserable. The matches I played, I had one match against random person in casual. I had a ranked match just because I was just looking for any match at all. And I went against Call the Haunted. The new support is really good, and it's also completely unpointed, so you can just throw all your points into non-engine. But I went against an opponent playing this, and I should have won. But I made a game-losing misplay in Game 2 that I'll point out. And then Game 3, I think I also made another one because, fun fact, this guy says, while you control Call the Haunted, your opponent can't target zombies with monster effects. And that actually screwed me over. If I had noticed that, I might have made a different play, but it didn't really matter. I was kind of screwed. Let's go into the actual cards that make up the deck in more detail now. So... the idea of this deck is to go first, but it technically can go second. We're playing 3 copies of Dogmatika Fleur-de-Lis the Knighted. This is mainly for going second, because if you have a Dogmatika on board, when you summon her, you get to negate a face-up monster non-targeting. So the idea is, like, you're going second, you special Ecclesia with her effect, and then let's say they try and interact with your Ecclesia using a monster on board. You go Fleur-de-Lis in hand to summon and negate. We got Fleur-de-Lis the Thunderbolt. This is it's a hand trap that also gets our play started. Some people use this as just with Dogmatika punishment. Send a guy from extra to pop a card. You can send Entis and pop 2. I also am running 2 copies of Dogmatika Turgy, which is a ritual trap. You summon a Dogmatika ritual from hand or deck, but you have to tribute Dogmatikas or rituals or extra deck guys who exactly equal the level of what you're summoning, which means you need 4 levels, 8 levels, or 12 levels exactly. With Fleur-de-Lis, you'll always have 8, which means you can get White Knight of Dogmatika, which means after an opponent's card effect resolves, I believe, because I don't think you chain this to it. I think it's after it resolves, you have both people send a card, or you send a monster from your extra deck, and then you look at your opponent and send one of theirs. So it could get rid of a good playmaker. So I sometimes do that. And then 1 copy of Quad Dogmatika Beast. You target a monster in your grave or your banish zone, and then send a Dogmatika from extra deck, or a Dogmatika from deck, or a monster from extra with attack equal or greater, and summon them 1. All of these extra deck block you, I believe. Actually, Dogmatika Turgy does not extra deck block you. Quad Dogmatika Beast does extra lock you until the end of your next turn, and punishment is end of the next turn in general. So this one would end on your turn 1 finishing. This one would end on your turn 1 finishing as well. We play 2 copies of Lawbringer. He's a retrain of Ashian. Note his effect: if a monster special summon from the extra deck is on the field and this is in your hand, you can special this card. This is not a when your opponent summons something, summon this. This is a if there is a this is the condition to let you special summon it from your hand as an inherent, I believe. Or not inherent. It's an activated effect to special summon itself, but only as like in your hand on your turn speed. When he special summons specifically from the hand, both players send 1 monster from extra deck to grave, and then if he goes to grave, you can target any Dogmatika card in the grave to add to your hand. I'm playing 1 copy of Maximus, since he's something I can search in certain instances. I had him at 2, but I feel like I brick on him too much. 1 copy of Albaz is in here for this Guiding Quem the Virtuous. I have her in here as a, theoretically, I can go Quem in end phase, send Albaz, and then if my opponent summons something from extra, and they have any other monster on field that's like a light or dark, I can either just go Albaz and whatever they summoned that has 2,500 or more to make Titaniclad, or if they have enough requisite materials, I can actually go for Beast, or the Dragon that Devours the Dogma. I've got 2 Skullmeister in here. He's unpointed and he's helpful. Cartesia is in here for Grand Wignall, so there are ways for me to get to her using something like Guiding Quem, send Cartesia, and then assuming I sent fusions, then she comes back to my hand. She's in here so I can make Grand Wignall, because I can then make Grand Wignall and turn Grand Wignall's effect to send a level 6 or higher light or dark from deck or extra. I can use that to send from extra deck, which could get my play started. I should probably be playing some fusion deployment in here. I just haven't figured what I'd cut to put in. I also don't know if it's points yet. Yeah. I should probably be playing a couple copies of this over some other stuff. I just haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet. I need to sort it again. We've got 3 copies of Ecclesia. This is just mandatory. You can normal summon her and search, or if there's an extra deck guy, special and search. 2 copies of Manju. I'm still thinking about this. I might trade these for the deployment, because the idea is you can use it to get the ritual spell or ritual monster, whatever you're missing. Ideally, though, that's not really happening. We got 3 copies of Ogre, because it's a hand trap that's pretty low points, and it's a light. I wanted to make sure every monster in my deck is light or dark. We got 2 copies of Crow, always helpful, in Genesys especially. We're playing 2 copies of Alwazoa. I find that he gets outed pretty easily, so having a second one is just nice sometimes, because he's just a big guy. 1 copy of White Knight of Dogmatika. This is, again, just so we can do the Dogmatika Turgy play to summon him, and then now we start ripping from extra deck every turn. White Relic of Dogmatika is in here as well. We can use her to just make something get really big. That's how I won one of my games. Like, that's how this deck out to towers, is you need to make something super big, usually involving, like, Thunderbolt or Knighted for a 25, and Albazoa to get, like, 6,500 attack on the guy. We're running 2 copies of Nadir Servant. You send a monster from extra deck to grave to search a Dogmatika. Pretty simply, this is the you're just going to send something that might trigger immediately, or you don't mind banishing, so that you can banish the thing you send for Maximus to then send 2 more. So going second, it's great because you can go like Entis, pop a card, and then summon Ecclesia, then summon Maximus, and then send 2 more cards. We got 3 Dogmatika Matrix. It's a continuous spell that, on activation, gives you a Dogmatika ritual monster or spell. And then if your opponent controls a monster, you can add a Dogmatika card from your deck to your hand. And then if you control a ritual, you can look at either player's extra and send 1. I never get to do this because it always gets Ghost Ogred. 1 Calamity and 1 Macabre. These are the search targets off of Matrix. Calamity sends from extra deck to ritual summon, and Macabre banishes from grave to ritual summon. Macabre actually mentions White Relic and White Knight, these 2. So theoretically you could play a pre-preparation of rights package to search for both, in case anyone wants to do that. That wouldn't be that bad. You can go for Macabre and then tribute a guy in hand for White Relic, pretty much. Or I guess White Knight too. Shame that Dogmatic Calamity doesn't mention it. Got 2 Punishment. I was playing 3, but I think cutting it down to 2 is fine. I'm already getting rid of my extra deck so much. 2 Turgy, like mentioned before. This is actually at 2 for another reason. It has a graveyard effect to banish itself to target 2 Dogmatika monsters with different levels. You add 1 to your hand and put the other on the bottom of the deck. So this is usually good for recycling specifically Lawbringer and Ecclesia. So you target Lawbringer and Ecclesia, you put Ecclesia back to hand, put Lawbringer back in deck. This way you can trigger the Lawbringer again when it goes to graveyard later to get back another card. So it's just another way of recycling him, usually. And then the 1 Beast. In extra, we have a Cyberdark Endragon for just if we really need a big attack point thing to send off a Punishment or a Quad Dogmatika. 2 Dragon that devours the Dogma. It just searches a Dogmatika card at end phase, and also technically we can summon it in niche scenarios. 1 Grand Wignall so that we can send something, and technically we can use the grave effect, or it's on field too, where you can banish it from field to grave, summon a Dogmatika from deck or a Despia from extra deck, which if you're not extra deck locked means you can turn Grand Wignall into Luluwa Lilith, which is sort of a bad negate, since it negates the effects of a monster your opponent summons from, or it negates the effects permanently. Oh no, the attack is permanent, the effect negate is a temporary negate of any face-up card if any card leaves the extra deck. But it happens in a new chain, I'm pretty sure, so meh. But you could do that, or you can just summon a Dogmatika from deck, usually like Ecclesia to trigger and search Fleur-de-Lis or Thunderbolt. We've got 2 copies of Titaniclad. This searches or summons Dogmatika monster from deck or Aldaz. We've got 2 copies of Entis, 7 points. This just on send to grave, pop a card. 2 copies of Luluwa Lilith. Again, this is for either summoning her and sending her, because during end phase she summons a light spellcaster with attack equal to its own defense, which the targets for that are Cartesia, Ecclesia, and Quen. We've got 3 Enigmaster Packbit. This is a card I love. I always want to get it in like a Masochist series one day, but I'm never lucky enough because it's under the UR. On Synchro Summon, or if he's sent to the grave, target a monster in your grave or a monster on your opponent controls, and you discard a card to put it in the owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous trap. And then if he himself is a continuous trap, you can summon a monster card from your spell trap zone, but during either player's turn. So that effect usually doesn't matter. It's the fact that you can send him and then discard a card to put something into the back. That is insanely good. You know, the more I'm thinking about this, the more I really just gonna So I got 2 extra points worth of space in here if I wanted anything. And then we've got the one copy of Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon. Honestly, this might be worth playing too if you can finagle your points good enough. I'm sure you can probably take out like a Ghost Ogre, throw in a different hand trap that's like another Crow or something, and then get 3 more points for her. Again, she's not here for her first effect, she's just here for the every turn I can recycle my spent 8s and shuffle them back along with her and another card on field. Inside deck, we've got 2 more copies of Cyberdark End Dragon for decks that have really big monsters that are hard to kill. Another Titaniclad in case we need to bring that in, like if the pack bits aren't going to be doing enough. We got Skull Knights for monster heavy decks where I need to wait, and Skull Wagon for decks where I absolutely need to destroy backrow. The rest of the side deck is Trunade for set backrow decks, Cyclone for just backrow decks in general, and we are unironically playing 3 copies of Typhoon because it does come up in some decks that run field spells and or continuous spells, and specifically because it is a way to out Macrocosmos and Dimensional Fissure immediately, even on your opponent's turn. Otherwise, I would just be playing Radiant Typhoon and the spells that aren't pointed, so Ascendance and where's the other one? Ascendance and Manifestation, just as search targets for more MSTs. But I think this deck is okay. I haven't played enough Genesys to comment on how good it is for Genesys, but I think it's fun. But I've done 20 minutes of yapping. Let's just get to the replays, because I only got like 39 minutes of recordings left. Okay. First thing we're going to do is the random match. This was Dogmatika versus Dragon Ruler. This matchup actually wasn't the best showcase of Dogmatika, but it wasn't the worst. Dragon Ruler extra deck is just kind of a toolbox, but the main thing that Dogmatika does against them is it just fuels their Dragon Rulers. So because of how the Dragon Ruler deck list is now, it's very low points, if not pointed at all. So they can pretty consistently set up this board state of the White Dragon and the Black Dragon. Black Dragon is a spell trap negate, and White Dragon is usually a pop. They try to go for another 7, but thankfully I have Skullmeister and I was waiting for a pivotal moment, so I negate the Red Ox. But right now they've got like all 3, they got every Dragon Ruler ready, so they can make the Xyz that requires 2 rank 7 dragons, and then all my grave is banished, and all my field is too. So, we're going to start off by summoning Ecclesia. Ecclesia effect is going to grab us Maximus. We're going to go for the continuous, and they actually let the continuous resolve, which gave me the ritual and the ritual spell. I guess their idea was they were going to negate it, which is a smart play, but because I searched Maximus instead of Fleur-de-Lis for protection, I feel like this telegraphs it a bit too much. Honestly, what they should have done is, like, frame 1, destroy my Ecclesia, like, right now, because then my negate isn't live immediately. I have to, like, shotgun it now. So I go for this. They pop. I think they actually could have popped Ecclesia right now too, and it would just make it so I summon this and not negate. So if he negates it, I send the Lulu Lilith for Alpazoa. I use this effect to send from theirs. They chain pop. I go this to make them send a ton of cards. So yeah, you'll notice it's all tech cards. Like, these are all things they can just so easily make, and it's all, I guess with the exception of the darks, it's all fuels, but like dragon. Oh, well, I didn't even know I could do that. We're gonna Maximus, send the Lulu Lilith. Yeah, I didn't really have a good target I could send just to banish. I could have done Aggregator, but at the time I played 3 Ultimate Slayers, so I wanted to save that. Maximus and Dogma and Titaniclad. Just go battle phase, kill the Xyz monster and the other one because the white one floats. set my copy of the Revive from Grave, and then go Quem to get Albez. And then this for Fleur-de-Lis Thunderbolt. So they just start banishing all the dragons that I sent to their grave for free. This is going to give them a Spell Trap Negate now, they got another guy on board. And with this, they can attach and banish all of my grave and all my monsters. Thankfully, my monsters are healed and protected because of Albezoa. They make another white, and they go battle phase. They're able to beat the Albezoa with battle. They pop my trap, so I just use the trap then to revive the Albezoa again. And they pop Fleur-de-Lis. They trade, which means they get to summon Blaster, and Blaster can kill the Quem. They pass, or they attempt to pass, so I go Thunderbolt. They go Thunderbolt, set the Ritual spell, or the Ritual trap, and then in end phase I trade my Ecclesia for a White Relic. I go White Relic, target these two, and make Albezoa super big. So now Albezoa can beat over this card, because he's unaffected while he has all the materials, and they see the writing on the wall and now we've got Call of the Haunted. So again, Call of the Haunted, completely unpointed, really sucks for me, and my opener isn't that good. We've got Ecclesia, we've got Fleur-de-Lis Thunderbolt, and then 2 Ultimate Slayer and a DD Crow. So at the time, I thought that this guy would summon from hand when they summoned. I was wrong. I should have just gotten regular Fleur-de-Lis. So they're going to go Unizombie, boom, boom, search the king, or Unizombie again. Them actually making me a level 5 is really annoying, because that means my trap can't tribute her for like White Relic anymore. And they send the Great Mammoth. He's just a, if you summon this while you have a zombie and Call the Haunted, pop a card. Call the Haunted deactivated, so I get rid of the king, so they can't use it. They go for the Snake Hair to get the Field Spell. They Field Spell, and then they didn't set any Call the Haunted, so I'm like, oh, they drew the rest. So I'm just assuming both of these are Call the Haunted. Turn comes to me. I can't do anything because I draw a 3rd Ultimate Slayer. I took every single copy of this out after this, by the way. So I just go to Crash, and they let it go through. They could Call the Haunted for Unizombie again, and then they get to send my monster. So I'm like, ah, yeah, that's life. Now they go Mizuki normal summon, and to play around my cards, they go battle phase now. They go Unizombie now, send the king again. Synchro into Felgrand to banish my Ecclesia, but now they have an extra deck guy, so I can go Fleur-de-Lis. Here's where I notice I can't do Ashian, it's like, ah, crap. So I set my Ritual. They go to Final Bringer the End Times, my Ritual. This targets a monster and other card in your opponent's field. Pretty good, it's especially good in Fire King. So I have to do this now, so I trade for my White Knight. Mizuki triggers, revives, King, and on resolution of Mizuki I get to trigger this, so I'll get to send a card and King will get to summon from deck. So I send Ending Master Packbit here, send his Ruddy Rose. He goes for Shankspeed the Spirit Owl. I send the Ending Master Packbit so I can use the effect to pitch one of these useless Slayers to just strand that copy of it forever. I drew another DD Crow, good for this matchup, but I can't do anything proactive. I've got another Unizombie, he's seen 2 of it so far. Sends the guy that can revive itself as long as you have Call the Haunted on your field and he's in your hand or grave. On resolution of this, I send a second Packbit, I only had 2 at the time, and send his Shangus Bangus so he can't make another 10, and then put that one to the back. He still has Zombie Dragon Lord, but I'm not as afraid of this one anymore. So he kills my White Knight. And then here's another reason I took this out. It very much nombos with the cards, because the extra deck monsters usually have negates or other forms of interaction, but you need them on board to summon the guys. So it just doesn't really work out well. So I have to go Lawbringer now to summon Send, which causes him to just go for it again. I Crow the Pumpkin, send the Lulu Wallith to get rid of his monster, and I can go Macabre, banish a Packbit for another White Knight. Or from the same White Knight just from Grave. And then now start swinging, and then I get Ecclesia and end phase. Ecclesia get Fleur-de-Lis United. They top deck the third Unizombie and send Mazuki, but they have nothing. So that one was a hard-fought battle, but we won. This is the one that I punt. So they go Snake Hair for the card that searches any of them, I think. Yeah, searches any of them, or gives you 400 attack permanently on everything, and draws for each called on it. They got King, set call, send himself, call, revive King, summon Shang-Chi, send Bloom, get the guy that summons himself for free, overlay for the King. This turn, so that card, whenever I activate a monster effect, I believe it is, normal or quick play spell card or effect, or a monster effect, it makes a flip a coin. If it's one option, it makes him banish one monster he has. If it's the other option, it makes me banish all of mine. East sends, and he returns the Call of the Haunted to hand using the second effect of this, and summons this, and a Unizombie, pitch that guy, make Zombie Dragon Lord, goes into Undying Legion. This steals attack position monsters, or guys in graves, and puts them as material on him. Really strong against Dogmatika, because it means your stuff won't trigger an end phase. And then I know one of these at minimum is called Haunted, and I assume the other one was the quick play, but he didn't send it apparently. We draw a second copy of Matrix. I'm like, I guess follow-up turn. So, we go Lawbringer. He immediately goes for this to summon out the Snake Hair, but Snake Hair only can target attack position, and I put him in defense. So his Snake Hair is useless. So we go this, and one from each. He has a Veiler in hand. I'm like, alright. Now I go Albaz, and with Albaz I pitch a copy of the spell. He goes Undying Legion to take. I go Fleur-de-Lis to negate. He goes Farmer at the end times to pop his guy and my Albaz. So I just Fleur-de-Lis negate the Zombie Dragon Lord. Had he not done that, I would have been able to make Dragons that devours the Dogma, funnily enough. Final card's Call of the Haunted, so he calls the Haunted for the Mammoth. I get 2 cards, and then on res, he uses Mammoth to pop my spell, which is fine. We go Calamity, send Lulu Lilith, and then we just go to battle phase real quick. And then this, I make him send, and then end phase. Here's where I mess up. I summoned Fleur-de-Lis the Thunderbolt thinking she would trigger. I was supposed to summon Ecclesia. Because if I go summon Ecclesia, then I can just get another Fleur-de-Lis the Knighted. And that's how I win this game. Because as soon as he gets to Call of the Haunted, if he gets a Call of the Haunted right now, and he I know what the last card in his hand is. The last card in his hand is the spell. So he has a effect that can work only if he has Call of the Haunted. So he has one unknown, which is going to be his draw, and nothing else to work with besides the spell in his hand. So if he gets play off of this card, having a Fleur-de-Lis in hand means that I actually can negate his guy so he doesn't get to search anything or bounce cards back, which is so important. So he draws, and of course he top decks play. He top decks King, goes the King Shuffle, gets Snake Hair to negate my Alba, so that all my stuff is affected again. And now that he has this, he can actually bring that back. So he can get Army of the Haunted. And there's even, it could also be said that it's worth going for Fleur-de-Lis the Thunderbolt instead of another copy of this in hand, because then I can go Fleur-de-Lis the Thunderbolt, and we can go for a copy of just Punishment straight up, and then I can use Punishment on something else. But the problem is that this thing protects his zombies from targeting, which means I can't target any of his guys with Punishment, and I can't target it with Entis. I would have to, Punishment something that I'm able to, once I'm able to, and then Entis to pop this. So the moment he got to this point, he was kind of just gonna destroy me. He puts them back, and exactly this point, he got rid of my guy and his trap. If at this point I had it, I was still kind of screwed because, fun fact, you can't activate the card you set off Fleur-de-Lis the turn unless it has 2,500 or more. Now it would have had that. So he summons this. This can target a card in the grave, in my grave, and if it's one material, he can set it, or if he detaches one, he can put it back on my deck. If he detaches two, and it's a monster, he can summon it, or he can set it face down on my field if it's not, or face down on his field. He chooses my Calamity, which is like, oh, okay, I'm fine. But like right here, if I had Fleur-de-Lis the Thunderbolt, every single time, he doesn't have Call to Haunted anymore, okay, cool, Fleur-de-Lis the Thunderbolt, summon, set Dogmatika Punishment, we probably send Entis, and this just, or I can't send Entis actually because he's got too big of attack, so I actually send Enigmaster Packbit to get rid of Wallow, and then Packbit effect, probably pitching this Albazoa, most likely, to put this Pumpkin in the back row. And then I know he's got Call the Haunted and a Spell Trap in hand, which I mean he could use the Spell Trap at any time too. And then this field spell to set Call the Haunted from deck. And then this is an effect to banish to summon, so you wouldn't have either of these on board, which meant I keep my field, and he doesn't have any monsters, he just has this back row. The rest of this game is just me doing essentially a death spiral, because I can't do anything against spell and trap cards. Dogmatika just doesn't have that ability. In Game 3, I made another mistake, and that mistake was forgetting that the Xyz monster, I haven't played enough with it to realize it, the Pumpkin Xyz monster prevents targeting. It's like, so I make a play in this match going for White Relic of Dogmatika to buff my guy to be big enough, and it doesn't work. Ghost Ogre on the Calamities, or the card, is always annoying. I had Garura in the deck at the time. Garura was usually what I was sending off to Dear Servant, because I can go Garura, get a draw after I search for Ecclesia, and then banish the Garura. I maybe should be playing a single copy of it still in the current version of the deck. I just don't know what I'd replace. Like, I guess I could replace Titaniclad or a Dragon that Devours a Dogma. And I mean, I could just trade the points for the Dogma for a Garura, probably. Titaniclad gets us Fleur-de-Lis, and Dogma gets us a copy of Matrix for next turn. He goes Dark Ruler no more, and I'm like, I forgot that's a card everyone plays in this deck, or in this game. So now all my monsters are negated, I have to just let him go off to the races, and I can't do anything until he gets an extra deck guy, and if he gets an extra deck guy, I kind of just lose, because his Kai is just going to have targeting protection. So he gets to do every setup in the world he wants to right now. With Shang-Chi, now he makes the guy, and he searches the spell. I just do this to get it to stop asking me, which is honestly a misplay. I could have summoned him back later and used him, funnily enough. So he does this to bounce his stuff, and like, I would have a perfect opportunity, man. Goes Snakehair, makes the Wallow to strand my Matrix there, which is like, okay. I go Quem to just get it to shut up. Thunderbolt here, Thunderbolt set the ritual, and here's why I could have ritualed him again, but instead I just ritual this uselessly. He pops his own thing, a Final Bringer, but I had a copy of Wind Pegasus, so I get rid of his guy back into the extra. He just sets the Call to Haunted. Fun fact, it doesn't say while you control the Succeed Summon card, it's just in general. So as soon as he summons this, can't target him anymore. So now all of his zombies have targeting protection from monster effects, which is... Wait a minute. Oh my gosh, I could have just used Dogmatika Punishment to win this game. I am so stupid. Welp, now I know. Go Matrix, grab 2 more. This, revive, that, send Quem. Summon, pop my card. I use Turgy to get back the Quem. Make Lulu Lilith, special summon him, because now there's a monster special summon from the extra deck. Send Entis to pop an unknown, and Lulu Lilith negate. I lost the coin flip, so goodbye all my monsters. I go Macabre to banish Entis for White Relic, and here's where I'm like, well, I can go White Relic, buff itself real big, and go punch something so we can't make anything, and then I saw I can't do that actually, so I'm like, So I can summon this Dogmatika Maximus, but that's all I can do. Banish. I can send a Garura and an Entis. I used Entis to pop Call the Forgotten. I should have just popped one to Call the Haunted, because if I popped that, then I could go pop that, and then I drew Cyclone, I could pop the other, which strands them both in the grave, presumably forever. Like, he'd have to do another copy of Call the Forgotten. But yeah, this game's kind of just over. For the sake of time, because he just makes this again, I'm like, I can negate this one, but I can't do anything else anymore. My extra deck's super low. I lost this one fantastically. But now we get to the games where I actually played against the person from the Discord server. So this was me playing Dogmatika Pure, and him playing Vanquished Soul Regenesis. At the time, this is what the extra was looking like, pretty similar to the current build. So I went first, go Nadir for Garura, Garura draw, go Ecclesia, get Maximus, banish Garura, or Maximus, send 2. I usually like to send Wind Pegasus, just because you can't really send it for anything else because it's level 7. He goes Royal for the copy of Regenesis Archfiend. He also told me, you might be wondering, like, what the heck is Magnifica and Divine Serpent of Apophis in here for? He is doing it for the Metal Tronus spell card. I don't fully know what it does. I think it lets you summon something, if the conditions are correct, and he just needed these as targets, so the whole extra deck doesn't really matter. So, I'm going up against a deck with the extra deck not mattering as the deck that's all about, I kill you if your extra deck matters, I lose if not. So, Genesys Archfiend, get Sage, then go Sage, and he tributes my Dogmatika guy for a copy of Kaiju. He didn't need to do that, though. I go Punishment to get rid of the Sage, to force the Sage, and then because of that, I actually am not extra deck locked. So I go Turgi, target White Relic, and then with White Relic on summon, I just make the Kaiju he gave me become huge. He goes set 2, I draw, and I'm like, okay, well, I was at the time like, we're gonna find out if I'm extra deck locked. So I normal summon Albaz, and hey, I wasn't, so I get to make Titaniclad. Now I have Lawbringer and Grave, get back the Fleur-de-Lis, then go Ecclesia, special summon, I get to search Matrix, and then they had the reveal to summon the Caesar, and then Dust Devil to bounce, or to Book of Moon the Kaiju. I just flip it up so I can't get Kaiju again, and then Matrix for a ritual spell, and then Matrix again to send Wonky Quartet. They go Sage and End Phase. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot the Regenesis cards. And then they go Raisin. I'm like, well, you can't chain it, so I'll do this. Negate. They summon the Sage, but unless they have a Genesis card in hand, she does nothing. And they didn't have a Genesis card in hand, so I was free to just win here. I had game on board, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I didn't save the other matches because I bricked so hard. Like, completely unplayable hands where I literally could activate, like, DD Crow and then Typhoon that I drew for turn. And it was just a full Vanquished Soul board with, like, 1 Regenesis monster and then a bunch of backrow. And it's like, or no, game 2, he had Dimensional Fissure. It's like, well, I can't do anything. And then game 3 was, the board where it's full Vanquished Soul board. I can't do anything against that, unfortunately. And then I played that Slop deck I told you about. He made his own Dogmatika deck list, and he was just trying to go for like Albazoa Turbo. And I'm playing Slop, which the extra deck in Slop doesn't matter. There is a single summonable card in here, and it's this one. So I didn't really care about that. So I get to go first. Go Regenesis Archfiend, reveal Fleur-de-Lis. They Ghost Mourner it. I'm like, oh, that's fine. Go Illusionist, set Max. Then this, set Flame Coated. Illusionist, make it a dragon. This was supposed to be another Max. go max for the dragon, so I have the Omni Negate, or flame for the Omni Negate, and then max for the monster pops. They go Albazoa and Calamity. I'm like, okay. They send Lilith, summon Albazoa. They go to rip a card from my extra, and because they did, or rip a card from their extra to draw, but because they did that first, I could pop Albazoa. They had Illusion Gate, which is really funny because both of my monsters are protected. This one can't be killed by spells, and this one, if it would die, I could just send this instead. But it just says destroy as many monsters as possible, then you can summon a monster from your opponent's grave to your field. I didn't know if that would actually let him summon my Genesys guy even if I had nothing in grave, or even if nothing got destroyed, but I didn't want to find out, so I just negated. Also, this card is pointed at 0 points right now. Please, Genesys team, fix your game. Set one unknown, Lilith, get Ecclesia, I'll just pop her, so they get the Maximus for next turn. Genesys Archfiend comes back, because I tributed him to make Metal Zoa, and we have Incoming Machine too. So I'll just summon, grab Genesys Lord, they go Punishment, I negate, I make Lord, set Genesys, grab Sage, and Sage Summon. And that's game. And then I only had one other game against them. Oh, what the? That's not supposed to happen. There we go. Same opponent, still me. They just went set to pass. I'm like, oh, one of those hands. So I go Incoming Machine for the Illusionist. Illusionist summon, set max. Go Swordsman, get Metal Zoa. Metal Zoa to get another max. Zoa, the Fiendish Beast, they summon their own guy. They send a card for both of our extras and strand this. I make him a dragon, and I have 3 max Metal Morph and a Dogmatika Punishment. They had Quad Dogmatika Beast. They sent Valen, who, when he sent to the grave, can target a face-down card to destroy it. I didn't know he even had that. So, because they did that, I get to trigger my guy, so I shuffle back the last card, which is Punishment, which destroys my Illusionist. I'm like, uh-oh. So he got branded Regained off of a copy of Albion that he sent, because he was actually playing a little bit of a branded package just for this. Because the idea is that, you know, you're going to banish your own stuff with, like, Dogmatika Maximus and Macabre, so you get to put them back and draw. But I told him I don't think it's that good, because it's very niche, and it's not really worth it. It doesn't really do enough for you. So he only gets the Ritual Monster here. He goes attack. I go Punishment of my own, send Titaniclad, take the 2k. I have no targets to summon, though. I took out the Ecclesia. Go Zoa for Flame Coated, tribute it for max for Metal Zoa, Flame Swordsman, grab Illusionist, just make himself a dragon because I don't have a card I can set and draw a card, tribute frame 1 for the Omni Negate. Goes for Albaz, I'll destroy the Albaz. Top deck for Genesys. I don't have any card I can reveal to summon right now, so we're just gonna swing. And then now I can destroy the monster because I can negate him getting something back. And then I decide to just go for lethal. We tribute off my Metal Zoa X for Flame Swordsman. And now he can only activate 1 card or effect, because after he does, this will do 500 damage. He tries to go out on his own terms using Punishment, but I negate it, so I can show him the Genesys reveal the Fire Swordsman to search, and then use the Swordsman to shuffle back and put get some other card. Yeah, really long video. Sorry about that. I just had a lot of recordings I wanted to show off. I do think now, after watching those games back, it is probably worth it to throw in a Garura just as a single copy. It's 4 points, so just take out a copy of the Dragon of Dark Dogma. And then now you got 3 extra points to work with, so you can figure out something else you want to do with them. I don't really know what else could be good. Maybe a second copy of this, just in case. But, it's probably fine. Sure, we'll actually just do that. And we can throw it in the side deck, just in case it comes up. I think this list is okay. It's definitely got some issues, but it's fine. If you watched this all the way through, God bless you, and thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna keep trying to play Genesys and make more videos, so stay tuned if you really like that. I'll do my best. Have a great day, and don't forget to drink your water.